I want you to think about how absurd this is. Colorado, this football team this season just went 1-11, and now they already have a Heisman contending quarterback. Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Another day, say with me now, another prime time video. Ladies and gentlemen, things are getting really, and I mean really interesting in Boulder, Colorado. Wait a minute. Is Boulder where the university is actually located? Hold on, let me look it up. I think I'm right on that. Okay, yeah, I got it pulled up right here. That is where the university is. Just checking. Anyways, Matt, that's besides the point. Shut up, get back on track with the video. We gotta talk about Deion's new Heisman. Yeah, that's right, you heard me correctly. The Heisman contending quarterback. Look, I get it. It's overwhelming to me just to think about everything that's happened with this university in the past week or two. It's all happened so fast. It's kind of reminding me of a new rapper or a new country music singer that blows up out of nowhere and they start getting all this money, they start getting all the girls, cars, and houses within a year. For a lot of these rappers, for a lot of these country music singers, all it takes is one hit and their life changes forever. They go from a minimum wage job to a multi-millionaire within the blink of an eye. Applying that analogy to this Colorado football team, it's the exact same thing. They're going from a team and fan base that is at the lowest of lows in life, they're 1-11, to now possibly have a Heisman contending quarterback? What's going on? We're talking about a Heisman quarterback coming in, but dang, can they even win 2 or 3 games? I mean, seriously, that's the legit question. We should worry about them getting to a bowl game. Regardless of how you feel about it, I don't know how we got here, but we're here. Y'all know what I like to label and call this. It is the Deion effect. We're going to talk all about that, and also, we got to talk about some other shady stuff going on in the college football world. As most of you know, RIP, the legend Mike Leach, he unfortunately passed away from Mississippi State. Well, a lot of coaches, and we all know Mississippi State, they're going through a tough time. It's just something no team and no program should have to go through. Well, here's the shady part about this, and we're going to talk all about it. These college football coaches, they're trying to steal these players that are currently on Mississippi State's roster. I don't want to scream too much in this video. I don't want to get amped up. It's not good for my health, but it's sick and disgusting. Also, got some other minor topics to talk about here and there. As always, per usual, you already know it's going to be a jam-packed video, but real quick, we're on the road to 260K before Christmas. Thank you to each and every single one of the new subscribers that have joined our amazing college football community. Like I say, we're just a bunch of guys and girls that like this sport. We're building an amazing community, and if you want to be a part of it, consider subscribing and helping us reach our goals. If not, that's cool too. All right, Matt, blah, 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 shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, first things up, I'm not going to talk about this for 5 to 6 minutes because I easily could, but I want to ask you guys a question more so. This conversation has been going on for the past month or so, but a lot of these NFL scouts, they are labeling Will Levis, the quarterback for Kentucky, as the best quarterback prospect in the draft. I don't agree with it because at number 1, I got Bryce Young, and number 2, I got CJ Stroud. If you want to reverse those, that's cool with me too. I don't care who you want to label as the number 1 quarterback. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, that should be 1A, 1B. My problem is, yes, I get it. Will Levis, he has great arm talent. He's got great size. But he wasn't all too great at Kentucky. And I know what everybody's going to say. Trust me, I watched the games. He played behind one of the worst offensive lines in the country. I get that. Most people don't. It's not so much of I'm hating on Will Levis. I got him as my 3rd best quarterback in the draft. It's more so of CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, they're better in my humble opinion. But apparently a lot of other people do not believe this way. So let me know in the comment section. Are you high on Will Levis or are you kind of low on him? I wouldn't say I'm low on him, but I don't think he's better than CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, and I'll leave it at that. I think the kid is really good. If you would have put him on Ohio State and Bama, they wouldn't have took a step back too much. Levis reminds me a lot of Josh Allen when he was coming out of college, and they got the same build. It's an interesting conversation. I'm sure we'll talk more about that later down the road, but check out this. I'm going to read this tweet off to you, and if you don't listen to a single other thing I say in this video, listen to this part. Getting some reports of some college coaches working through third parties to try and get some Mississippi State football players to enter the transfer portal. If you're doing this, then you are a disgusting human being. If I get evidence to support this, I will make you famous. For those of you that don't know, Steve Robertson, he is a very, and I mean a very reliable source for Mississippi State. It goes without being said, like Steve Robertson said, the best word to describe this is disgusting. That was the word I used, and it's just not a better word to use for this case and scenario. Trust me, I get it. There's a lot of people saying, and I've seen people on Twitter say this and comments everywhere. Oh, well, that's what life's about. You got to move on, and why should these other coaches just act like they can't go get these guys out of Mississippi State and blah, 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 blah. Joe Schmo, here's my counter argument to that. If you want a kid on this Mississippi State team, At least, at minimum, give it a week. This football team, more importantly, the program, the kids, they're going through a tough time. I'll give you a great perspective. This is the equivalent to your dad passing away, and somebody calls you a day later asking, hey, sorry about your dad, but can I buy his car? That is the best example I can use. Think about that. That'd kind of rub you the wrong way, wouldn't it? I know it would for me. That's what currently is, apparently, according to these sources, is going on at Mississippi State. You gotta have some type of morals and some type of respect. I get it. It's a cutthroat business, but this a little too much. And hey, once again, I have to remind myself, these are rumors going on, but Steve Robertson, I feel like he wouldn't say this just to say it. Maybe his sources are wrong about this. I don't know. If we hear anything more, I'll let you guys know. Last but not least, before we get into the Coach Prime stuff, got some minor announcements to talk about. Texas A&M, they have continued to stretch their record to a whopping 22 scholarship players have now entered the portal. The newest one to enter the portal is freshman defensive back Smoke Bowie. Yeah, there's not too much to say. Is anyone shocked by this? No, I wouldn't be shocked if this number gets up to 30, 35. We expected this to happen, and also this is the real last but not least. Ohio State just landed the second best player in the class of 2024. Although he hasn't officially signed, it is a commitment, and this is huge for Ohio State. It's looking like they're going to continue to have some of the best wide receivers in the nation. That's a really big pickup from Ohio State, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, oh yeah, it says it right here, Ohio State now holds commitments from the number 1 and number 2 player in the class of 2024. Not too bad. Congratulations to all my Ohio State fans out there, but finally, moving on to the main topic of the main encore, the main reason you clicked onto this video, we gotta talk about prime time. Yeah, I know, the way I say prime time, it's kind of getting corny now, but let's just get into it. Here is something really interesting that I don't see too many people talking about before we get into the quarterback drama and whatnot. 4-star recruit Malachi Coleman, here's what he tweeted out. This was yesterday, by the way. I will be changing my visit from Michigan to Colorado this weekend. There's nothing really more to add to it. I just thought it was interesting that a recruit would change his visit from Michigan to Colorado. Because me personally, and I can't speak for you, but I can speak for myself, I'm going to Michigan first, then Colorado. Let's not try to act dumb though. Why do you think this happened? Why do you think he decided to go to Colorado first? Because of Deion. That's the only reason. Do you honestly believe that if Deion wasn't even the head coach at Colorado, he would even be considering going there, rather less choosing to visit them over Michigan? Heck to the no. Now, it is worth mentioning, he's still going to visit Michigan. I don't really know why he switched it up, but it's worth talking about and mentioning. Here's what we really got to dive into and talk about, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't even think about this being a possibility, but it is. Not too long ago, Fox Sports released their early 2023/2024 Heisman race, and at number 1, not number 2, not number 3, not number 4, not number 5, not number 6, etc., at number 1, they had Colorado's quarterback. I think their list is really fascinating. They broke it down, gave reasons as to why these players are ranked where they're at, and it's actually a top 25 list, but I'm just going to show you the top 10. Oh, wait a minute. I got to bring this up. Why in the heck is DJ Ugabadoogie at 13? Okay, calm down, Matt. Don't even address... Don't even address that or get worked up. That blows my mind. When are we going to put an end to this DJ Uiagalelei Heisman talk? The kid can't even complete a 10-yard pass, and we're talking about the Heisman? Anyways, getting back on track here. At number 9, they got Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers. At 8, Michael Penix Jr., 7, Cade Klubnik. All those make sense. At number 6, they got whoever the starting quarterback for Alabama is. Number 5, same thing with Georgia. And as we continue to get into the top 5, at number 4, we got Ohio State's wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. 3, we got Michigan's quarterback J.J. McCarthy, which I don't really think is going to happen because Michigan's so run heavy. At number 2, they got Caleb Williams going back to back, which won't happen. We all know why. And at number 1, as you can see, Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Let's read off what they wrote about Mr. Shedeur. Sanders has a chance to be the most dynamic Colorado quarterback since Cordell Stewart, and he could also benefit from having the school's best all-around player since Rashawn Salim, never heard of that guy, on his side if Travis Hunter, who has also been linked to Florida State, decides to join him. The reason I'm laughing is because I don't know why Travis Hunter would go to Florida State. It's kind of obvious he's going to follow wherever Deion's at. Continuing along, it's been nearly 30 years since Salam won the 1994 Heisman in Colorado after rushing for more than 2,000 yards and 24 touchdowns and leading the Buffaloes to a win against number 3 ranked Notre Dame. A lot of people out there think this is a joke and whatnot. For example, check out this tweet. He's not even played a Power 5 game yet. That got over 200 likes, or nearly 200 likes, and under that somebody replied, the only reason he hasn't played a Power 5 game is he turned down all of his Power 5 offers, Bama, LSU, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, could they all be wrong about his playing ability? You do gotta give Shedeur Sanders the benefit of the doubt, saying, oh, well, he ain't played competition because he did have offers from a lot of these schools. Am I saying that he would have been a star quarterback at Alabama, LSU, Florida, Georgia? No, I am not. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. Before you have any judgment on him, before you run to the comments and say, I agree with this, I disagree with this, hear me out. Let me offer you some of his numbers and give you some cold hard facts before you have judgment. Because a lot of you watching this video, you've never even seen Shedeur Sanders play. I watched him play quite a bit last year. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't watch every single Jackson State game, but I watched a good majority of them. And from what I saw in the games from Shedeur, I was impressed. Granted, he wasn't playing the best of the best competition, but hey, he can't control that. Mr. Shedeur Sanders has only played 2 years of college football, his first year being in 2021. And in that season, he had a completion percentage of nearly 66% and passed for 3,200 yards. To go along with that, he had 30 touchdowns to 8 interceptions and a quarterback rating of 151.7. In the following season, which was this most recent season, in 2022, he completed over 70% of his passes, so that's really good. He increased that. To go along with that, he increased his yards to nearly 3,400 and increased his touchdowns and lowered his INTs with 36 and 6. And his quarterback rating also went up as well, and this is a good sign. Anytime I evaluate these guys from year to year to try to see if they got better or whatnot, it's always a great green flag sign or whatever you want to call it when they're getting better. As you can see from these numbers, it's nothing dramatic. He didn't get insanely better, but he did get slightly better, and that's worth something. I'll put it this way, it's better to see those numbers go up rather than go down. Once again, you got to throw in there and mention, though, he's not really playing that great at competition, and compared to the SEC, he's playing scrubs. Sorry, I'm not sorry. The competition Jackson State played compared to these Power 5 schools is not that great. You're going to have your fair share of people get offended of what I just said, but it's the cold hard truth. Were the people that Shedeur Sanders was playing against in the HBCU better than me and you? Yeah, but me and you don't play football. I'm not comparing his competition to your average Joe. I'm comparing his competition to SEC schools. And compared to SEC schools or Big Ten schools or whatever, they weren't good. So going back to his numbers, is it impressive to have over 3,300 passing yards, 36 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions? Yes, that is good, but it's hard to judge just how good he really is because he hasn't played anybody. Putting him at number 1, though, ahead of Caleb Williams, who just won the Heisman, above Quinn Ewers, who looks like he's going to have a breakout season next year, and above Michael Penix Jr., I would have to disagree with that. I personally believe Caleb Williams has a better shot of going back-to-back than Shedeur Sanders has of winning the Heisman. It's not so much that I'm knocking Shedeur Sanders, it's more so of I know what I'm going to get out of Caleb Williams, and I haven't seen Shedeur Sanders play the best of the best competition. You also got to throw in there, what's Deion Sanders known for? His defensive coaching abilities. He's not some Lincoln Riley. He's not a mastermind on the offensive side of the ball. Me personally, I have a hard time even believing for a second that Shedeur Sanders is going to even compete for the Heisman Trophy. And a main reason for that has nothing to do with him, but we all know this. Who wins the Heisman Trophy more times than not? Who even gets to go to New York for the ceremony? Guys on some of the best teams on the country. I said on the country, I meant to say in the country. You get what I'm trying to say. Who went to the Heisman ceremony this year? Stetson Bennett on a playoff team, Max Duggan on a playoff team, CJ Stroud on a playoff team, and Caleb Williams almost on a playoff team. So with that being said, for Shedeur to even be mentioned up for the Heisman Trophy, Colorado at minimum is going to have to go 10-2, and I don't think that's going to happen. I expect Deion Sanders to turn that program around. I think they're going to win more than one game, but I can't even try to validate for a second trying to tell you guys they're going to win 10 games. And I'm sorry I'm laughing. It's just so laughable to even think about. Colorado ain't winning 10 games, and I'd be shocked if they won 9. So for that reason, Shedeur ain't even going to be up for this Heisman Trophy. But apparently, according to Fox Sports, he's not even up for it. He's the front runner. I don't know about all that because we all know this. For you to be up for the Heisman Trophy, like I've said, I'm going to emphasize it, your team has to be really successful itself. Normally, the Heisman Trophy goes to a really good player on a really good team, and Colorado is not a really good team. I want you to think about how absurd this is. Colorado, this football team this season just went 1-11, and now they already have a Heisman contending quarterback. To me, I don't think Shedeur Sanders is a Heisman contending quarterback, but a lot of other people do, including Fox Sports. Maybe he'll prove me wrong, and don't get it twisted. I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders is some bum or whatnot, but we're talking about the Heisman Trophy. Y'all understand what that means, right? That's the best player in the country. I think he's a good football player, but Heisman, that's a different story. I'm very curious. Let me know your thoughts down below. But